Inside this box is one of the most anticipated sneakers of the entire year, and that's because it's a follow-up to one of the best sneaker collaborations of the last decade. So there's a lot to live up to say the least. And I just got this package in from UPS. This is my first time checking it out. I don't know that much about this sneaker at the moment, but before we dive into the actual full review of this shoe, I'll make sure to do some research, try them on, all that sort of good stuff. So this is my first initial unboxing of the MANIERE Air Jordan 3s in black. I'm not exaggerating when I say that the MANIERE Air Jordan 3s are one of the most popular and well-known sneaker collaborations of the last decade. It's actually hard to overstate the impact that this shoe had when it first released back in 2021. James Whitner and MANIERE knocked that shoe out of the park, and since then have had multiple collaborations with Jordan brand on many different silhouettes. And to be honest, they've all been incredible, but none of them have really hit the same way that those shoes hit. So I'm incredibly excited to see this shoe for the first time in person. And already, the box looks completely different than the original box, so I'm really excited. I can't wait. I didn't expect this at all. I was expecting a box that was very similar to the original collab, but apparently they completely changed it up. Let's first take a look at the outside of the box. It comes in this black satin finished cardboard. You've got a Jumpman right there in the center of these two triangular flaps that open up. It looks like it's only on one side. The other side is pretty plain. There's really not too much going on this box whatsoever. You've got the size tag on the front. I grabbed a size 10.5 women's, which is a size 9 men's. This is the women's Air Jordan 3 Retro OG SP, and the official colorway of this shoe is black flat pewter. But now for the moment we've all been waiting for. A moment that I didn't even realize it was gonna be this exciting. I thought it was gonna be a standard MANIERE box, so this is kind of crazy. Actually, where is my MANIERE box? Yeah, it was way harder to get out than I thought. It isn't even the right box. This is the MANIERE Air Jordan 4 box. The reason I'm showing you guys this box is because it's very similar. It's usually a box with the sleeve that has the MANIERE logo repeated on the sleeve. I mean, pretty simple, pretty clean, but it looks like for this new collaboration, they're upgrading to something completely different. This is pretty wild. It's kind of giving me some performance Air Jordan vibes. Oh no, the glue's coming undone on the side. That's not great. Oh, that stinks. Okay, well, it is what it is. On the top of the box, you've got the AMM logo next to what looks like a 10, maybe for the 10th anniversary of MANIERE. I'm actually not sure about that. I should look into that, and I'll let you guys know before the full review. Got our GOAT, not really paperwork, our GOAT card here, because I did buy it from GOAT. Next, we've got what seems to be this sort of like deep purple cloth. Wow. Look at these. So I saw pictures of these online, but that didn't do this justice at all. This shoe is incredible. Wow, okay. What else do we have inside the box? We've got, I guess, this cloth that we talked about. Not sure what this is for. Definitely adds to the premium feel of the packaging. There probably is some meaning behind it, and I'm sure once more information comes out about these sneakers, we'll learn more about that. But unfortunately, a month before these sneakers release, there isn't too much info about the shoes yet. So here are the original MANIERE 3s from 2021, and here are the new ones. And man, I really thought that I was not gonna like these that much. I'm gonna be real. I really did not think I was gonna like these that much. But having them in hand, I'm like, wow, these are like a more premium black cement 3. You've got a hang tag on the side of the shoe right here with the MANIERE, I'm assuming 10 logo. Like I said, it says MANIERE quality goods, handle with care. Inside it looks like we've got a bunch of laces. There's a cream set of laces. Is that another set of cream laces? What could be a second set of cream laces? I'm not 100% sure. Let me open these guys up. Okay, so this set of laces says work harder on the aglets. And then this one also says work harder. Did I just get two sets of laces? Two sets of cream laces? They're exactly the same. All right, it looks like I got two sets of cream laces. I don't know if that's standard. We've also got a set of gray laces as well. Actually, they're not gray laces. They're more of that sort of purpley gray that you find on the shoe. Very cool. So you have three different lace options. You have the black that comes in the shoe. You've got this sort of purpley gray, and you've got cream. Possibly two sets of cream, I'm not sure. All right, enough drooling over them. Let me throw these guys on feet, see how they fit, and I'll give you guys a full review. But first, I want to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, ARBIT. ARBIT is a free app that allows you to check the price of any sneaker that you're interested in, like these, the Futura Nike SB Dunk Lows, on all of the different resale platforms at once. Since the beginning of resale apps, if there was a pair of sneakers that I wanted to buy and I wanted to get for the best price possible, I would have to click through all of the different resale apps, which takes way too long. But since ARBIT came along, it's kind of solved that problem for me. ARBIT allows you to search pretty much any sneaker available on the resale market and check the price of that sneaker on all the different resale platforms at one time on one page. So you can see right in front of you which site has the best price on the sneaker that you're looking for. You can click the icon for that site and it'll take you right to the shoe. It makes sneaker shopping 10 times easier. It's wild. And if there's a sneaker that's a little bit too expensive for you at the moment, you can actually watch that sneaker on the app and it'll give you a notification whenever the price drops on that shoe. Not only that, ARBIT gives every shoe its own ARBIT value, so you know when you're getting a good deal or a bad deal. And if you want to make sure that you're pulling the trigger on the sneaker at the right time, you can check ARBIT Insight, which shows you what the sneaker price was in the past, what it is right now, now and what they think it'll be in the future. ARBIT is an incredibly useful app, and I use it a lot whenever I'm sneaker thrifting or at the Nike outlets to make sure that the shoe that I'm buying is a decent price. Not only that, if it's not a decent price, I can just go onto the ARBIT app, find the best price for that shoe, and just buy it directly from the app. So seriously, if you buy a lot of sneakers or just plan to buy a pair of sneakers in the future, make sure to check out ARBIT. It's free and you can download it by clicking the link in the top of the description below. And of course, huge thank you to ARBIT for sponsoring today's video. You know those MANIERE 3s that you have, that we both have actually, that you really like?
Yes.
Well, they're releasing a new one in 2024, the black MANIERE 3s.
Ooh, those are nice.
Now, I don't know the official name of the colorway yet because it's like a month out, the release of these shoes, so they haven't really said too much about it. I think they look sick.
Yeah, I do too. What's that? What's the tongue? Is that a nubuck?
Looks like a nubuck. What do you think?
It?
That's a nubuck, right?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
suede?
With like a texture?
Yeah, like a tumbled nubuck.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Like, this is a $250 shoe. Retail. And that was the same sort of deal with the original MANIERE 3s. They were like really high quality shoes. So these actually seem pretty decent, as much as a mass-produced shoe could be. I was actually kind of worried that I wasn't going to like these as much as the originals. And I still don't know if I like these as much as the originals, but seeing them in person now, I'm like, these are actually kind of crazy. They're like kind of like the black cement 3s, except with a little bit of purple, a little bit of gray, some nicer materials. They're fly. All right, so I'm gonna try these guys on, see how they fit, see how they feel. These are obviously a women's exclusive, so they are technically a women's pair of Air Jordan 3s. So I grabbed a size 10.5. I'm usually a size 9. And apparently the way it translates is a women's 10.5 is a size 9. So I grabbed a true to size pair, generally. This is the same size I have in the other MANIERE 3s. And I'm actually rocking a super old pair of Apothecary socks. The Monsieur Bananas from like 2 or 3 years ago.
Nice.
Like, this might be the sock 2.0. That's how old it is. We've got a bunch of different colors and styles on apothecary.com if you guys want to grab any socks. We don't have these anymore though. They're completely sold out. I really like these a lot. What do you think?
Yeah, they're nice.
Give me a rating out of 10.
8.
Wow. That might be the highest you've ever given a shoe.
I mean,
That's crazy.
I think I'm pretty generous with my ratings, but I do like those.
All right, well, true to size is what I recommend. If you have a pair of MANIERE 3s already, I would recommend going in the same size that you already have. So if you have the other MANIERE 3s and you have like a size 10.5 women's, you're a size 9 men's, go with the same size. Should be totally fine. I think the sizing is exactly the same. With that being said, back to the studio. So this is the highly anticipated MANIERE Air Jordan 3 in black, and we finally have them in the studio, and I've been wearing them for the last couple hours, in fact, almost the entire day, and I absolutely love them. There's definitely a lot riding on this collaboration. The first MANIERE Air Jordan 3s are an incredibly popular silhouette and one of my favorite sneaker collaborations of all time. I know that's pretty wild to say, but genuinely, the more that I look at this shoe, and the more years go by since the shoe released, the more I'm like, this is one of the best out there. And so to follow in the footsteps of this shoe is not an easy task, but James Whitner and MANIERE, in my opinion, did an excellent job. So the MANIERE Air Jordan 3s apparently released on July 18th for a retail price of $250. And I think there's a good chance that this might be one of the most coveted sneaker releases of the year. So if you're trying to grab a pair of these for yourself when they officially release, apparently they drop on July 18th for a retail price of $250. And if you do the math on that, you realize that this video is coming out about a month before these release. I bought these on GOAT for like $600, but I think it's worth it because I'm giving you guys an early review. The problem with this early review is that unfortunately neither Nike or MANIERE has come out and given us any information on the release of these shoes. That includes not only the release date, but also the story behind this shoe. So there are probably a lot of details on this shoe that we don't really understand until we learn more about the sneaker, and unfortunately at the time of this video coming out, there just isn't that much information about the story of these sneakers. We can make assumptions, but I don't want to make too many assumptions because obviously they probably will be wrong. So I'm just going to go through this review as if we're just looking at the shoe from a purely aesthetic point of view. There are some things that I think I know what they mean, so we'll talk about those a little bit later on in the video, but mainly we're going to talk about this as just a follow-up to the original MANIERE Air Jordan 3s. That being said, if you're like me and you can't wait to grab a pair of these for yourself, make sure to check these guys out through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. They're available for resale right now. I think the resale prices have dropped a little bit, not a huge amount, maybe down to like $550 from $600, at least last time I checked. I'm sure by the time you're watching this video, it might even be cheaper, but who knows? But from the chatter that I'm hearing on the internet, this is a lot of people's favorite sneaker of the year, which I actually totally understand. Is it my personal sneaker of the year? No, I still think that's the Futura Nike SB Dunk Lows, and I don't see that shoe getting beat out by anything, but it's definitely in my top 10. This shoe is absolutely incredible, and I've got to say, like, the last 3 months have been bangers. Like, every month we're getting another crazy sneaker release. It just doesn't stop. It's amazing. So the original MANIERE Air Jordan 3s were also a women's release, just like this shoe, and were called the Air Jordan 3 MANIERE Raised by Women. This shoe was essentially a thank you note from James Whitner, the founder of MANIERE, to his mother and the women who raised him. And personally, I thought it came out beautifully, not only because of how it looks, but also because of the meaning behind it. I lost my mother a couple years ago. Actually, that's the reason why I started my YouTube channel. So this is a meaningful sneaker to me, and especially now with my wife being a mother, I have an even greater appreciation for women and mothers out there. So really love the story behind this shoe, and my guess would be that this new collaboration is probably something along the same lines. Now, I can't say that for sure, and obviously more information will come out about this shoe, so I don't want to speculate too much, but one detail I will speculate speculate about is the 10 branding on the packaging and also on the tag of this shoe. My guess is because MANIERE was founded back in 2014 and now it's 2024, that this is a 10th anniversary package and possibly shoe collaboration. But we won't know for sure until the shoe actually releases. And this packaging, man, the glue on this box keeps ripping. That's so frustrating. Oh, here's the exact tag that I was talking about. It just fell out of the box. Although this box keeps falling apart, I've got to say, it is a really nice box. But now that we've talked as much as we can about the story behind this sneaker, let's dive into the shoe itself and check out some of the materials that make up the MANIERE Air Jordan 3s in black. I keep saying MANIERE Air Jordan 3s in black. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be another name for these shoes. I don't know what it's gonna be yet, but I'm sure people will just call them the black MANIEREs. That's my guess. So starting off around the toe of the sneaker, you find the first of the many premium details on this sneaker, the super hairy suede mudguard that comes in like a medium gray color. Now this video isn't supposed to be a comparison video between this version of the shoe and the previous version, but if you look at the two shoes together, if you compare them, if you will, the material usage is pretty similar on a lot of parts of the shoe. Moving up from there to the toe, you get to this black tumbled leather, which feels surprisingly decent for a pair of Air Jordan 3s. I mean, the shoe is $250 retail, so you'd expect nicer materials, and I've got to say, MANIERE delivered. This shoe feels amazing in hand. The leather feels really soft. It's got this nice sort of semi-gloss finish to it that catches the light really nicely. I just really like it a lot. Now, I did find that there are some glue stains on mine. Maybe not glue stains, but scratches, which is kind of a bummer, but honestly, it's gonna get scratches on it the more that I wear this shoe anyway, so it's not a huge deal. But that was something that did kind of bother me a little bit, but honestly, it's gonna be different from pair to pair, so I wouldn't expect it. Continuing up on the shoe to the bottom of the tongue area, you've got these 5 different maroon colored lace eyelets. MANIERE is absolutely sticking to their design language on this shoe, which I really appreciate. A lot of collaborators will drop one collab that looks one way and then another collab that looks completely different. They have like a couple similarities, but that's about it. MANIERE, all of their shoes, you can tell that they're MANIERE collabs. They all come in black or cream or white and feature some sort of maroon hit or purple hit. It's a very, very cool design language and I love it. Moving farther up on the shoe to the eye stays, you get to this tumbled nubuck material that comes in this like sort of grayish purpley color, which I really like. It's also perforated, which is different than the original MANIERE 3s. That was more of a, well, I can just check it out actually. Yeah, in the originals it was a suede material that they used, but this time around they're going for a perforated nubuck, which actually looks pretty cool. Then weaving through the eyelets of the shoe, you've got these black, flat, lightly waxed laces, and as you guys saw, there are 2 other sets of laces that you get inside the box. I got 3 extra sets of laces, but I'm pretty sure that that was a mistake either on Goat's part or on whoever sold the shoes to Goat. Maybe they switched up the laces by accident, but either way, I have 2 sets of cream laces in my box, and I've been looking at other pictures online and I've been watching other people's reviews, and I don't think that's the norm, so I'm sure that it was just a mistake. But hey, if one of my cream sets of laces gets messed up, I can always switch them out. To be honest though, I'm probably not going to switch out these laces. I really like the way that the black laces look, so I'm going to stick with this. Underneath the laces, on the bottom half of the tongue, you've got more of that perforated tumbled nubuck. It also comes in that same purple gray color, and what's interesting about this color is that online, pictures don't really do it justice. You can't really get a feel for what the color is until you see it in person, because in some lights it looks very dark purple and in other lights it looks more grayish. I've seen a lot of renderings online that had it as either a gray color or had it as like a deep purple. None of the pictures or renderings that I've seen online really get it exactly how it is in person. It's a very sort of smoky purple. Actually, let me compare it to the MANIERE 4s that I have really quick, because I think it's similar. So this is another shoe that's getting a new colorway later this year. The MANIERE 4s are releasing in a new, I think it's a Phantom colorway. But yeah, when you see the 2 purples together, it's very, very similar. It looks like the 3s are a slightly darker, no, it's pretty similar. I was gonna say they're slightly darker, but I don't know if they are. I love the MANIERE collaborations. James, if you're watching this, you're probably not, but if you are, you're killing it. Every shoe that you're dropping is absolutely fire. Continuing up on the shoe to the top half of the tongue, you've got more of that nubuck material, except this time around it's not perforated. On the right shoe, you've got the Jumpman embroidered into the tongue in black, and on the left shoe, you've got the MANIERE logo embroidered into the tongue in black. Now, like with the MANIERE Air Jordan 4s, the edge of the ankle area and the edge of the tongue are sort of a raw, unfinished edge. That wasn't the case on the original MANIERE 3s. The edges were just standard rounded edges, and I think I might actually prefer that a little bit. I'll be honest, it doesn't really affect the way that I think about the shoe that much, but if I had to choose between the two, I would probably go this way versus this way, but this way is still fine. I mean, this is the way it was done on the 4s, and it's fine. It doesn't bother my feet when I wear it. Here are the new 3s and the 4s next to each other, just so you guys can see it. Moving inside the sneaker, on the back of the tongue, you've got this maroon colored fabric that has the MANIERE A logo repeated, which I really like. We've seen that before, I think on other pairs of MANIEREs. I can't remember which ones. I'm sure it's like the 4s. I can't remember off the top of my head. On the original 3s, the entire sock liner of the shoe, including the back of the tongue, was quilted, whereas on the new 3s, the quilting is actually only on the back half of the sock liner. This quilted fabric that wraps around the inside of the heel comes in a matching purplish gray color. The insole of the shoe actually has a very similar fabric to what you have on the back of the tongue. It's got the repeated A logo, except I think it's a slightly different color. It is. It comes in a very grayish purple. And then we get to a hidden detail, which I didn't notice until I took out the insole to film the B-roll. You've actually got the words while you were sleeping written on the top of the footbed, which is really interesting. You actually have it on both shoes. I don't know what that means. I'm sure it makes sense with the story that's behind this shoe. Unfortunately, we don't know what that is yet, but it's a really awesome touch. I love hidden details like this. They're so cool. Little Easter eggs. I wish more shoes had this. I'm sure it's more expensive to add details like that, but it really makes the shoe. It makes the experience. Again, for sizing and fit, this shoe fits very similarly to the original MANIERE Air Jordan 3s. For me, that's true to size, but for you, it might be something different. I would recommend going true to size. And again, this shoe only comes in women's sizing, so be cognizant when you buy this shoe to make sure that you're buying the correct size and that you're buying a men's size or a women's size, depending on what you're looking for. Then moving back on the sneaker towards the heel, you've got more of this really nice black tumbled leather. And then on the heel counter area of the shoe, you've got more of that really nice hairy gray suede. And then on the top of the ankle area, you've got more of that perforated tumbled nubuck. Then moving to the heel tab of the sneaker, you've got this really great black heel tab that features the Nike Air branding in cream. It looks absolutely amazing. I love it. I think it's incredible. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's nostalgia or the fact that it fills out the heel tab better, but the Nike Air branding just looks so much better than the Jumpman on heel tabs of Air Jordan 3s. It's just a huge difference, and I absolutely love it. I'm so glad they went with this detail again on this pair of Air Jordan 3s, like they did on the original MANIERE Air Jordan 3s. Then moving down on the sneaker, you get to your standard Air Jordan 3 midsole. This time around, the main color on the midsole is this sort of dark yellowish cream color, and then the midsole is rounded off by this super matte black accent that wraps around the heel of the shoe. It's like weirdly matte black. It feels like paper. It's so different than the super glossy detail that you had on the original MANIERE 3s. I don't know why they went for it. I honestly don't know how well this will hold up. I mean, if you think about matte cars or matte wraps, it's pretty difficult to keep them looking fresh. We'll see what happens, but I like the way that it looks. I like the effect it gives the shoe. It's a nice contrast, even against this semi-gloss black leather, because it's got a completely different finish on it. It does match the heel tab though, which I think is cool. The fact that the heel tab is a matte black, this sort of accent on the midsole is a matte black, it gives it a very cool effect and look. But I guess time will tell to see how well it holds up. Maybe they used a special finish on it that holds up really well. I have no idea. Is it Angelus? Who knows? Finally, moving to the bottom of the shoe, you get to this primarily gray rubber outsole. You've got a maroon hit on the forefoot of the shoe. You've got a cream hit in the midfoot, and then your Nike branding rounding off the heel in maroon. So I didn't want it to come down to this, but the reason I'm doing this is because I feel like people are gonna ask for it. Which pair do I like better? Well, I'll be honest, coming into this review, before I had the shoes in hand, I would have said hands down the original pair. And I think overall, I probably still lean that way a little bit. That being said, I really like this brand new pair. I thought that the details on the new pair wouldn't really stand out the way that they do on the old pair, but I've got to be honest, the Black Cement 3 is my favorite Air Jordan 3 of all time. And this new pair is pretty similar to the Black Cement 3s in a lot of ways. And when I threw these shoes on feet, I immediately realized how much I love these shoes. I mean, you guys saw me unbox the shoes, you know how much I like them just seeing them for the first time in hand, but throwing these on feet, it was a game changer. And if I was basing that statement purely off of just the color blocking of this shoe, I would just like the Black Cement 3s that are coming out later this year more, just right off the bat, no question. But seeing these shoes in hand, you notice all the little touches that make this shoe an amazing collaboration. You see all the super premium materials like the suedes and the nubucks. You notice the little details like the writing underneath the insole of the shoe. There's so much going on with this sneaker, and I'm sure there will be even more going on with this shoe once we know the story behind it. It's a really unique shoe, and while yes, it is kind of a Black Cement pair of Air Jordan 3s, there's so much more to it than just that. So while yes, I do think the original edges out the new one, it's not by much, and it's not by as much as you would think. But hey, which pair of MANIERE 3s do you guys like better? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet and you want to see more videos just like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.